Welcome back to another Blue Jackets game reaction. This one regarding their matchup against the Seattle Kraken on Saturday, game 43 for Columbus, as their ship was taken down by the Kraken 7-4 a couple days ago, and this was following the Browns wildcard loss, so this team really couldn't hurt me at that point. I was already kind of at an emotional low, and expecting a win out of this game regardless was pretty much setting yourself up for failure, as Seattle has been rolling as of late, getting some really good results, while Columbus has been rolling off of a cliff pretty much all this year. It was Daniil Tarasov in net once again. I do want to make a dedicated video about some of the goaltending situation stuff and the new Elvis news about him and the organization agreeing to a quote-unquote new scenario, whatever that entails. I feel like that has gotten to a point where I think it is worth another video, not just throwing it into a game reaction on the tail end. It was Joey Daccord in for Seattle, and Provorov got a couple of goals by him in the first period. I believe it was the broadcast that mentioned it was his fourth career multi-goal game, and he was on hat-trick watch. Obviously, he didn't get there, and I do feel like Cole Sillinger's play has hit a new high, despite him not really getting on the scoreboard on Saturday. He's just been playing with seemingly a new sense of purpose after he's found some results as far as goal scoring goes. But where the trouble has been for the Jackets continued to be the trouble for the Jackets against Seattle, and that was sustaining good play and being able to build on any lead that they get, where every time the Jackets would claim a lead in that one, a response from Seattle would not be too far behind, trading goals back and forth. It was Jordan Eberle after the first goal, and it would be McCann after the second goal in that first period, and both are shots that, both of them weren't ideal to give up defensively, but I think you would want Daniil Tarasov to have at least one of those if the organization is truly evaluating his talent as a potential starting goaltender for them moving forward. And the second period started well enough for Columbus, with them getting a full 2 minutes of a 5-on-3 that even their power play couldn't screw up, with a Marchant goal getting scored just using his shot to rip one past Daccord. But after that sequence, it would pretty much be all Seattle after the Jackets couldn't capitalize on the ensuing 5-on-4, but still good on them to get that one goal. It was Karche getting a deflection past Tarasov to tie it up again. That goal really not on Daniil at all. But then the Kraken would get a power play after a Sillinger boarding call, and then him and Vince Dunn got in a little bit of a scrap. It was Bjorkstrand, of course, scoring against his former team. I do miss Oliver Bjorkstrand, and seeing him play for Seattle was a little bit bittersweet, especially him having such a good game against the Blue Jackets. He gave Seattle their first lead heading into the second intermission, and the Kraken were not letting go of that one, with McCann with his second and Dumoulin both getting shots past Tarasov, where Tarasov, he had a pretty rough night on Saturday against Seattle. There's no way around it. I feel like you could safely put that under the bad games folder for Daniil Tarasov. Emil Bemstrom did get a consolation goal. Nice play from Kent Johnson to feed it to him there, and it did get the score close enough to get the broadcast to kind of say, hey, maybe the Jackets could come back a little bit, but I feel like the general fan knew that probably wasn't in the cards for Columbus on Saturday, and it wasn't, with eventually Tolvanen finding the empty net. Bjorkstrand with another assist on that one. 7-4 is the score. Bjorkstrand with 1 goal and 2 assists. Also, he had the assist on the first McCann goal in that first period, where Columbus, they looked like a competitive hockey team for about 30-35 minutes before the Kraken took over, so that was a fun half of the game to watch as a Blue Jackets fan, but the rest of it was just more of the misery that we've grown accustomed to. Tarasov dug into himself pretty hard in the post game. I don't think it's a good thing for the goalie to be kind of beating himself up beyond this game, where, if the bad vibes in his head kind of begin and end on Saturday, I feel like that's fine. You could also say that, maybe it's mature for him to own up to that from a younger prospect. He's not really necessarily a young guy anymore, but definitely a younger prospect. But, we've seen what goalies can look like when they get in their own head a little bit. Guys like Jack Campbell and Ilya Samsonov having to be sent down to the AHL, and it can snowball pretty darn quickly if you're a goaltender that can't get out of your own mind. But the Jackets, they don't have too much time to think about it all that much. They played the Canucks at 1 p.m. today on a matinee, so by the time this is uploaded, probably about an hour or less. Any positive result would once again be a surprise for the Jackets, where this is another game where you look at where these two teams are in the standings, and they're pretty much on opposite ends, with Vancouver having a really good year, and again, the Jackets, they're rolling, but they're rolling off of a cliff. But there is a bit of a twist in this one. Elvis Merzlikins is in net, so we'll see how he looks. This is his first game back since kind of the media, I guess, explosion out of, maybe not necessarily an explosion. It's not exactly been like front page news, but it's been a little blurb for all of these talking shows to talk about the situation between Merzlikins and the Blue Jackets. So this is his first start since all of that has kind of boiled over, and we'll see how Elvis looks against Vancouver in the afternoon. But that's going to do it for me in this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did make it this far into it, feel free to leave a like and a subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more like it. I cover a couple of other teams in Ohio. Maybe you like those videos as well. But once again, thank you for watching, and I will see you at the next one.